toughness, his leadership, his mentoring. He's a great mentor to our younger players. They look to him, much like when I first got here, guys were looking to Chris Borland in that, in terms of how you handle your business and how you're a pro. The day-to-day grind that all our guys go through. Mike's a great example of how to do it the right way. I'll remember that.
Dave, will you get Goldberg back a little more this week then? Because he played.
Yeah, he's fully in the plans,
Okay.
and so he's looked good in practice. And having that bye obviously was a big help to him, and a bunch of other guys, and so I'm excited to get him. I thought Goldberg was hitting his stride in terms of playing well prior to being injured. So it's good to get him back on track.
Is he going to be a key in defending what they like to do in the run game, especially Jackson?
He is. He is. The run game is the first thing you notice with Northwestern, and the running back is the second thing you notice. And so they got great scheme, and they got us pretty good last year at their place, and it was not something that we adjusted to or defended well at all. I mean, I take responsibility for that. You sure remember that game, and so this is an opportunity our guys to come out and see some, that play that hit us is their number one play now. When we played them at that time, it was complimentary play, and so it's been on tape a bunch, and so it's a big challenge.
They've had a lot of success with those outside zone stretch runs that have given you guys issues. Is there something specific you're kind of telling the guys to key in on for those runs heading into this matchup?
Well, you want to be able to set an edge, and so you dictate the force as opposed to them cracking your edges and then them dictating it. So you want to get that, and then you want to try to stay alive inside. They do a great job of pinning the inside defenders, and so trying to eliminate the Goldbergs of the world and get, you put all your people inside, they get all their people outside, and therein lies your problem. And so we've got to do a great job of getting off blocks, and we've got to do a great job pursuing the football. And the running back's a great, patient vision runner. And so, I go back to the Iowa game. We had some issues with the stretch runs with us overrunning it to get to the outside, and the thing was hitting it up inside. And there's a lot of examples of their guy getting that done as well. And so we have to kind of pace that thing out. So it's a big challenge, man. I don't know if there's been one team really that has really stopped them running the ball. And so they've run it just about everybody they played.
Your offense here doesn't really run that as much in live games, but do they simulate that for you at practice to get the guys?
Yeah, the pace is good. I mean, the tempo is good when you see it from your offense, and so it's a big help having a pro-style offense that's got big linemen that can move and that have got backs with vision, and so that's definitely a big help. Yeah.
Dave, you ran some blitzes against Maryland where you one in particular you stacked Schobert and Beagle. Beagle was able to get through, and then you had Schobert and Sitchy on the same side. What's the philosophy behind those two? Is it to put stress on the inside guy when you stack the outside linebackers on the in? And do teams then look at Schobert more when he's on the outside and the other guy gets less attention?
Yeah, you're trying to build again matchups, and so whenever those guys are stacked like that, there's usually one guy's going first, the other guy's going second, and you're trying to manipulate. If the guy inside is going first, you're trying to get the tackle to get wide, so the other guy comes under has got to match up on a guard or a back.
Okay.
And then if they're both outside and they both come under, then you're trying to get a matchup on a tackle. And so you try to be able to find those things, ways that you can get the one-on-ones. And so it's hard. I was talking to Coach Chris about that today. Once you get into November, it's hard to find new ways. And so you try to we're going to keep searching, though, for those ways where we can get those one-on-ones, because we've got guys that can do stuff with it.
Did you get what you wanted out of those two looks, though, in the last couple of games? Because Beagle was saying he got one of the sacks against Rutgers as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was paired with TJ on the inside that time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so you try to, I thought We've shown guys inside, stacked inside. We've shown guys stacked outside. I think that the other thought behind that is matchups would be number one, but the number two is when someone turns on the tape, well, they got this, they got that, and, they got to rep it all, and are we going to see it? And so it's good when that's in your corner.
Northwestern's quarterback's pretty quick, so does it make you hesitate at all to run some of these intricate stunts and twists when you know that they're got to be responsible for contain in addition to getting outside?
No doubt, yeah. And so I talked to some of the people in the conference that have played them, and there's been spy guys, that have been just responsible for him, and you try to build it's always the game you play where if you're going to mush rush the quarterback and have hard edges and contain him, that's another way of saying you're not rushing the quarterback, And so then what coverage are you playing? How long are guys covering for, and this and that? And so you got to have balance. So there's got to be a rush where you're feeling really good about contain, but then there's also got to be a rush to where the quarterback's not comfortable in the pocket and he's going to get hit. And so you try to have answers and mix those things best you can.
Chris.
Does he have a chance? Does he have a chance to return this season still?
I think so. Yeah. This doesn't look like it's going to happen this week though.
The way Sitchy has played, do you guys consider sticking with him in the starting lineup even when Chris is healthy, or?
No, I think Sitchy brings so much to us on the outside, and he's one of those guys that you can plug him in anywhere, just like what you've seen. And I still go back to when Sitchy first got here. I think he was not in the 105. He got called up about 10 days prior to that first game, whatever that game was, and played in that game, and just smiling, happy, just making plays, and so he's still doing the same thing now. And but great anticipation, great football IQ, toughness, and so you plug him in anywhere and he'll play. So he's a big part of our plans, kind of moving forward, outside backer wise.
Did you expect to get this kind of production from Olive this year?
Yeah, it was big. We were definitely hoping for it. I mean, we need it. So it's good that it's happened, but we're planning on it. I give a lot of credit to Coach Breckerfield for the work that he's done with Olive. We've been about every spot in the defense been playing young guys, and Olive, this is going to be a big game for him. These last two, and so with the running games that we're seeing, but he's been an effective run stopper, and he's got the quickness to where you move him, you can get some out of him that way too.
What's made him such a good player as a true freshman? What attributes does he have that you really like?
There's a great intelligence about him, and so you tell him something one time and he gets it, and then he's got great study habits. I mean, he spends the time, and so it's not just in the meeting rooms. He's on his iPad, he's talking to the vets, he's putting the time in, and it's paying off.
Overall, how would you describe what this senior class has brought to the defense?
Great leadership, a great discipline in playing team defense. And so I think, there's guys that all want their number called for this or that, but they play within the scheme, and they play to their help, and they play as one unit. And so I think when we've been successful, that's been the case. And those guys, I think they live by that credo, and we're going to continue to try to put that on tape.